In football, there's two factors when you're talking about receiver versus defensive back. In a defensive back world, you want to stop the opposition, which is the receiver, from catching the ball. Honestly. Now, before the ball is thrown, and if you are holding the receiver, they call that defensive holding. Now, while the ball is in the air and the opposition impedes or stops the route of the receiver, we call that pass interference. So everybody got that natural order of ruling here. Now, I'm a defensive-minded person. I'm always in favor of the defensive back. I'm always looking for the defensive back to be aggressive, put his hands on his opposition, and always be physical as well. We're going to look into this play, and this is Amari Cooper's pass interference call. Of course, Amari Cooper rotates onto the outside. Marshon Lattimore follows. Now, this is giving me indication that this is a press man coverage or a man-to-man coverage, and we're going to see how this thing play out. Off the jump, he's squeezing Amari Cooper to the outside, and he's not trying to give him into the inside right here. So this is a good technique right here, because what this does is giving Amari Cooper a short area of field. I love the way Marshon Lattimore played this position. It was very crafty indeed. Now, when you play this position right here, he bails and backpedals out of his stance, but he still gives contact within the 5 yards, which is cool. Perfect technique. He put his hands inside of Amari Cooper's chest. Amari extends. This is kind of like a bang bang give up right here. And Amari catches the ball. He gets separation here. This is a great deed of separation. Now, Lattimore played a great leverage. He was trying to use the boundary as his friend, and Amari Cooper was able to catch this ball right here. As you look, he gets upfield and he gets the first down. Pass interference. Now, we're going to look at the nature of pass interference. Was it impeding the route where he was able to get an advantage? This is what you want to look at as it relates to pass interference. So we're going to look at Amari Cooper. He's set, but let's look at the play. Mano a mano, man to man. Let's see the profile right here. Number 19 is Cooper. Number 23 is Marshon Lattimore. As we let the play out, good release. He put the physical contact within 5 yards. That is good. What you want to see off of this play, what do you expect the receiver to do? I want the NFL to let me know, because at this point in time, Amari Cooper just cannot allow him. He cannot allow him to put his hands on him. He have to get separation, which is what we call disengage at this point. This is within the parameters. This is within 5 yards. So if you can look right here, Lattimore extends. He makes first contact. And matter of fact, I don't even think that Cooper is able to get his hands all the way on Lattimore from here. And they say that he pushes off. But as you can clearly see, that all he did was use his leverage against him. He put his hands on his chest, and Amari Cooper extend. It wasn't a real push off if you look at it. And you really don't see the major contact. I'm just looking at it from here, that this should have been a bang bang play, and the officials shouldn't have called that particular play. Shouts out to Lattimore for establishing the contact, because I can say this, if Lattimore never extended or established the contact, then who knows what would have happened. That is showing you that right now it's always good as a cornerback in this modern day time to be aggressive with the receivers if they're going to call PI on both sides of the ball, right? So that's just how I look at this particular play. Now let's look at this play. This was the second PI call, and we're going to look at the way the officials call this play. Dak Prescott goes to the progressions and he throws the ball. One can argue and say this was a non-catchable ball, because it landed somewhere way over here and the receivers are way over here. I don't think that Amari Cooper can have that type of speed to get to this ball. And you know, when a ball is uncatchable, you got to throw away the pass interference. But that's the story of a different day. Let's look back at this play and see what they called. The flag came in after the ball already hit the ground. That was a late flag. And I'm not making excuses for the Dallas Cowboys off of this. You got to understand, you cannot allow the officials to control the game. Somehow, one way or another, you got to outperform the officials. That's just the reality of it. This guy's laughing. They're going to pan and cut all the way over to Sean Payton. He's already smirking and laughing. Maybe they know something that we don't know. I'm not making things up. I'm giving you guys my observations of everything. So we look at the call. The guy called pass interference on Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is surprised about this. He's really like saying, what the world is going on? But let's look at this play. Let's break this down. And they call pass interference on Amari Cooper. This is Amari Cooper off his break. He gets off his stance, free release. He travels upfield. You immediately see Lattimore established the contact. This is way down the field. Now, got to put this into the context. You only got 5 yards to chuck. He chucks, he holds, he grips the back shoulder. As you can see, he cuffs. And you don't want that to happen, especially when you playing in the National Football League as the defensive back. You don't post a hook or cuff. And the pass interference is called on number 19. And this is what Amari Cooper's pointing like, yay, I got the flag on him, but it's reversed. Let's look at it. Whenever you have, as a DB, have your arm or a hand around the back shoulder pad, you can place it there on the lower back, but anytime it's high and you pull, come on. You got to call pass interference on the defensive player. Watch how he grab and pull. Amari Cooper, he just can't sit still. Amari Cooper, he got to disengage and he got to continue out on his route. This is at the top of his route, and this was not a 3 or 4 yard pass. This was a deep pass. Watch how he pulls and chugs, and Amari Cooper did his best to get separation, and they called PI on that. So we got to understand, Cowboy Nation and Saints Nation, shout out to Marshon Lattimore for playing a good, solid game, that those calls were kind of like they shouldn't have even called them at all. I would rather for them to be non-call opposed to them being pass interference calls. But if you're going to call the game like that, man, this new ruling actually changes the game. Just think about it. There will be no Michael Irvins, Chris Carters, no Megatrons or Dez Bryants of the world or any physical receiver if you're not allowed to have contact, period. And if you got the chance to call these type of plays. I'm not saying that defensive backs are at a disadvantage of the old rules, but man, this changes the game. If the NFL and the officials are going to call PIs on the wide receivers like that, just think about it. Just think about it. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Peace.